4 weeks ago, I dropped a video. Now official, liberal women are 100% cooked. Society is noticing. And I agree with myself 4 weeks in the past, because after doing that deep dive analysis, I have realized that liberal women are in fact the source of the majority of issues in society. They are the overly empathetic bunch of people that are voting to import people into our country to kill us. They are the people that are pushing essentially every single degenerate, immoral, garbage in society. This is the primary leftist voter base that is essentially pushing a lot of the hogwash we're seeing everywhere. And the #1 best-selling book that the liberal freakazoids are enjoying is Morning Glory Milking Farm. I made this video saying, I know Shoe on Head is going to talk about this, it's so insane. And here we are, 4 weeks later. 4 weeks later, Shoe on Head decides to drop Female Gooners Must Be Stopped, finally talking about Morning Glory Milking Farm, and in my opinion, a downfall of women. That's right, the majority of women are leftists. Leftists are voting for these self-destructive policies. The problem is women. This is the man. Okay, not a misogynist. There's one woman specifically that I love immensely and I will protect forever. Okay, not a misogynist, but if you think I am, I don't care. I don't care. I actually don't care. I've gotten to that point. You could call me whatever you want. Racist, misogynist, transphobe. Well, that one's just true. But realistically, your words mean nothing anymore. This is an issue, man. They're pushing Morning Glory Milking Farm. A lot of you don't realize what this is. This is a book about a strong, independent young woman who goes to work in a facility where she jerks off cowmen for a living. And she falls in love with one of the cowmen that she jerks off. And it's a feminist fantasy. It's the most horrible thing of all time. Really glad Shoe on Head read it. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Dive in, boys and girls. The women are realizing that it's women's fault. That's what I want. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I didn't see you there.
Oh, she was just reading
What am I reading, you ask? Well, just one of the best-selling books on Amazon right now.
I don't know if my video was the inspiration for this or anything. It probably wasn't, but dude, cinema.
Now, with millions of sales and almost 20,000 5-star reviews, this book has been absolutely blowing up, especially on
what can I say? I'm a month ahead of the curve. Month ahead of the curve. That's right. That's right. You can always subscribe if you want 1 month heads up before anything happens.
TikTok, or Book Talk, as the kids call it. Thousands and thousands of women in particular have been
women. It's women. It's a women book for women. And the worst part is it's woke. I don't know. Look, calling everything woke has gotten kind of cringe. I'm not gonna lie. But this is a story about a woman who's like, she's like, I'm doing it because I need to prove myself as a woman, which is why I'm jerking off Minotaur men for a living, to prove that I am more than a cog in the machine.
Raving about this piece of literature.
It's a Marxist revolution. I've watched women review this book in my previous video. Took hope. You don't understand what the reviews are like. If she uses the same clip of a review in this video that I used in mine, then that's just cinema.
What piece of literature is it, you may ask? Well, Morning Glory Milking Farm.
I can't believe she bought it.
Of course. A popular romance novel about a young woman down on her luck who does what every young woman does when facing financial struggle.
She becomes a whore.
She starts an OnlyFans.
Yeah, essentially. Well, not. The reality is, this is actually a girl. She's not really down on her luck. She's like your average millennial libtard girl that wants a useless college degree, and in order to fund it she gets a part-time job jerking off bull men, and she falls in love with one and they date and it's beautiful, and she talks about power imbalances and how he needs to look up to her and how she actually wants to pay for the meals. I did my research when I covered how retarded women were in the last video.
I'm just kidding. She wouldn't degrade herself like that. She gets a job jerking off monsters.
Yeah!
That's right. The Morning Glory Milking Farm.
Oh, dude, and women love this book, man. Oh, God. It's specifically the libtard women fantasy.
I have been reading Morning Glory Milking Farm since last night, and I'm obsessed.
This was a good time. It did not disappoint.
I have to show you my favorite ever review. I hope I linked it in the description because I made fun of it for a minute. I have to show it to you, all right? You don't understand. You do not understand. Yes. 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 Look at this. Look at this. It's cinema.
Environment is not relief, but relationship. This suggests that even hypermasculinity beings yearn for intimacy in a society that often expects them to repress it. But there's an internal conflict going on inside Violet as she deals with her own romantic feelings for her client. But as we see throughout the book, what she learns might be the solution to dismantling the system.
Get ready, get ready, get ready. You're not ready.
The first time she meets Rook, the love interest, she is instantly attracted, especially being in such close proximity and intimacy. For example, in the scene of their first meeting, she says, "Please just let me know if I'm using too much pressure." She called out hesitantly, having heard Kirime say similar things to clients brand new to the farm. Or not enough pressure, just let me know. A short grunt was her only response, and she shrugged to herself, gripping the...
Yeah, so this is dismantling the system, but don't worry, it gets even better. It gets even better.
A thrill over forcing a reaction from him, and even less so to register that thrill directly between her thighs, a tingle that ignited when he repeated the motion. In this text, we see that
they were having sex. She was having sex with the bull man. Yep, this isn't at all teaching women how to become these machines of retard bullshit, where they go ahead, live lives where they abort their children and castrate their children and don't have children and, you know, get into relationships, don't get married, become strong, independent women, and end up dying alone and depressed. This totally isn't a story that pushes that sort of agenda. But don't worry, because she's going to explain what this tingling sensation between her thighs is all about.
That the tingling sensation in her coochie is actually the tingling sensation of a Marxist revolution.
No! Having sex with the bull man is not a metaphor for a Marxist revolution. Yeah, so anyway, my favorite part about this book is the fact that people are trying to turn it into something deep when it's really not. It's hedonism on wheels.
If this book is trash, then I am a fucking raccoon. Give me all of the garbage.
Get your eyeballs on this because it is so good.
Yep, there's a problem. There's a problem.
I regret to inform you that there is a new epidemic. An epidemic that many have yet to discuss. And that epidemic is female gooners.
Yeah!
Now, for those of you unaware, gooner...
Yeah, there's an entire subgenre of literature, which is at this point a genre. It's called romantasy. I did research for my previous video because I have to understand the inner workings of the mind of the people to understand how we can best manipulate them into not voting for self-destructive policies. There's an entire... The most booming genre in literature right now is women porn. It is for women who are small, petite women who are just trying to make it in society, and the patriarchy is against them, and they end up falling in love with a billionaire cross-dressing werewolf. And the billionaire werewolf is out there and to protect her, but also he is weak because once a month he turns into a werewolf. But he's also a billionaire, but he doesn't make her feel inferior that she's a leech on his life and she doesn't actually contribute money. He actually is honored by her presence, and it's worth the billions that she's gonna inevitably take from him in their divorce.
Gooner is internet slang for someone addicted to porn. And smut is slang for dark romance novels, otherwise known as porn. Many correct about the dangers of porn addiction with men. How it can destroy their lives.
Dude, she's literally following the beat for beat of my video that I made like a month ago. Yes! Women porn is just hyper-sexualized books that get women emotionally invested in these characters because men and women operate differently. Biologically speaking, men are much more attracted to visual stimuli, and women are much more attracted to an emotional stimulus. And the books, essentially, it's 600 pages long of emotional stimulus. It's woman porn. It's woman porn. And it's on the actual front shelves of every bookstore in every country.
And their relationships.
Well, in the West.
Most men know the material they consume is weird. That is why they are ashamed of it. That is why they delete their browser history. That is why they go incognito mode. But these bitches freaks out here.
And to be honest, and it's not healthy. The reality, dude, this is I used this screenshot in my video. Bro, Shuanet's secret Nuxanor fan. I mean, she did mention me in her last video, which was hilarious. But dude, I literally used this exact screenshot in my video. That's insane. That's insane. Let me see if I can find it. Bro, do you see this? I used this exact screenshot. Oh my god. Nah, that's cinema. That's cinema. No, I'm honored. Honestly, I'm honored. I think Shuanhead's hilarious. No, but this is great. I'm glad that people are noticing. This is a problem. Men are ashamed of porn. Well, to be honest, it's because porn is not good for you. I'll be real. I used to have issues in this regard, and thank God, I have evolved since then, you know? And realistically, these women ain't evolving because it's normalized in society. Oh, we're so cooked. Why should I get married, settle down, and have a family of children if I could just lose myself in the story of soul touch?
Display their smut openly in bookstores.
Yeah,
they proudly pose in front of their smut collections.
Yeah.
They discuss their smut openly on TikTok.
Yeah.
They go to smut conventions
Oh
and
my
get choked
God.
out by 9-foot-tall shirtless.
By the way, I actually covered this smut convention too. Apparently, there was a dude that went to this convention, which was, 95% women, and he got sexually assaulted there by dozens of women because these are fucking gooners.
Wendigos. Now, I know what you are thinking. Shoo, isn't this the pot calling the kettle degenerate? Yes. Yes, it is.
Fair enough.
But have you considered it takes one to truly know?
True! That's why it takes a real retard like me to call out retards. She's so right. She's so right.
See, women are strange, fascinating creatures. For
True.
centuries,
Incomprehensible, some would even say.
men have tried to figure us out. Food is
Still can't.
affected by the tides and the moon.
True.
We bleed for 5 days and don't die.
True.
By painting my face, I can instantly shapeshift from a 4 to a 6.
True.
We are truly mysterious.
True.
Magical.
Literally, incomprehensible creatures, truly. The biggest twist of my life was when I started living with one. And then you start realizing that, wow, they are truly wonderful creatures. And I actually have advice to all men out there. All men out there, just go with the flow. Just go with the flow. Just remind her you love her, be there for her, and don't get angry. If you follow those tenets, you tell her you love her, you don't get angry, and you tell her you're there for her, you're calm, you will have the best life of all time. Of all time! And also tell, okay, this one's only for men. Any women watching, close your ears, okay? Any women watching, do not listen to what I'm about to say. But to all men out there, if she freaks out irrationally about something, tell yourself she's hormonal. It's not her fault. And then you look at her and you say, I'm sorry. It's an amazing strategy. You tell yourself it's all her fault. She crazy. She hormonal, so you can't really blame her because it's her hormones. That's what you tell yourself. Then you look at her and you take full responsibility. It works. It's truly, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Creature.
God,
But
women
one of
are
the most
amazing.
mysterious aspects of women
True.
to men is our sexuality. You see, us women are not like those
True.
disgusting moids. No, we are
True.
hated. We
True.
are
They
evolved.
need to lose themselves in Minotaur goonery for 400 pages before getting off.
We don't watch videos of strangers slapping their sweaty bodies together. No, we read about strangers slapping their sweaty bodies together. It's different.
Yeah, it's different because that's over the course of like 400 pages. All right? You get a man, all right? I'll be real here. You close the door, you whip out your phone, and 4 seconds later, you're already in the process. You know what I'm saying? All right, okay, all right. Women, they need a book with scented candles and dimmed lighting and nirvana levels of meditation for 3 hours until they're ready. Okay? All right?
Okay? You don't understand. It's okay when we do it.
That's true.
So, let's talk about it. Let's talk
Society accepts us because society is actually crafted around us at this point because Western society's been so hyper-feminized that we can no longer recognize it for what it used to be until we repeal the 19th Amendment.
about the rapidly growing popularity of dark romance on TikTok and the recent dark romance convention that ended in disaster.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Yeah, it's when the dude got, I mean, I don't know why I'm cheering that this poor dude got raped, but I mean, you know.
Let's take a break from all this depressing political news and talk about something silly. Not that those political things
Bro, a dude got raped at a convention full of gooner women. But yeah, it is kind of silly in a way, I guess, sort of.
aren't important. Trust me, they are. You should be keeping up with politics and the news when you can. I know it can be difficult to do.
It's a segue.
But fear not. I have an app.
There it is!
So
Ground News! Go to ground.news/Nux to
As the
get
shutdown
40% off my Vantage plan.
Form of or use the link for
I didn't skip the ad.
skipping the ad.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So let's get back to the video.
I'm ready. Let's go, dude.
Book Talk is a very interesting place, and any book fans out there know how it has absolutely
It's horrible.
destroyed the hobby of literature
Yeah,
and
literature's
just
dead.
flooded it with absolute.
So I was doing some research into this. Apparently, if you're an author and you want to sell copies, you don't actually try to make a good book. You just make it gooner bait. And you'll sell 10 times as much you know, volume, because the entire fantasy market has been overrun by horny, middle-aged women that can't get no man. Not they don't need no man, but they can't get no man. They tell themselves they don't need no man to make themselves feel better about the fact that they can't get no man.
Absolute slop. Spicy slop.
Yep.
You see, books on TikTok are not rated by how well they are written or how good the characters are. No, they are rated by the spice.
The goonability.
And what does spice mean? It means spice level is very important to book talkers. How much spice does a book have? What are the spiciest books they have ever read? How spicy is the book they're currently reading? Spice, spice, spice. The spiciest book going viral on Book Talk lately is none other than Morning Glory Milking Farm by C.M. Nascosta. Violet is a typical down-on-her-luck millennial, mid-20s, overeducated, and drowning in debt.
Overeducated, obviously, and drowning in debt. And it's not her fault that she was in all these college courses where she got degrees in underwater chicken tickling and lesbian tap dance theory or whatever the hell else people are learning in college these days. She's a failure. She's a failure. She has no job, no career, drowning in debt. Overeducated is retard words, all right? But the thing is, this is targeting the feminoid retard. This is exactly who the target audience is, so it's perfect.
Oh my god, she's just like me. On the verge of moving into her parents' basement, when a lifeline appears in the form of a very unconventional job in the neighboring Cambric Creek. She has no choice but to grab it
with both hands.
Morning Glory Farm offers full-time hours, full benefits, and generous pay with no experience needed. There's only one catch. The clientele is grade A certified prime beef.
Oh my god, dude. How is this real?
With the manly, meaty endowments.
Could you believe I made a video on this a month ago? Could you believe that I was ahead of the curve? This is truly diabolical.
Morning Glory Milking Farm.
Ah! She pulled up the same retard. I can't she definitely watched my video. Oh my god.
Actually, a profound critique of late capitalism and toxic masculinity. In this text, we see that the tingling sensation in her coochie.
This is the clip that I showed! This is crazy.
It's actually the tingling sensation of a Marxist revolution.
Of course it is.
This is every fucking BreadTube video to me, dude. This is every Jack Saint video. So I actually read the book myself.
Bro, this is diabolical. Look, I said I was ahead of the curve. I didn't know how ahead of the curve I was, man.
I'm not gonna lie.
Jeebus.
The 19th Amendment needs to be abolished. So,
dude, how ahead of the curve can you be? I literally said that 2 minutes ago. Dude, this is getting scary. I feel like we're sharing a brain cell, and I really don't like it.
So, like I said, the story is basically this millennial named Violet, and she gets a job basically working at Big Pharma in Narnia, where they harvest Minotaur milk to make Viagra for human males. Yeah. And I read the whole thing. Yeah! Put on some kind of watch list. But listen, this is my job, okay? I'm not out here, like, selling...
Can you imagine going to your accountant and be like, all right, Morning Glory Milking Farm, business expense.
Feet pics or something. What I do is far more dignified and normal. Now, let's take a look at some of these notes I wrote. Let's see. Big and balls. At one point, she says the term, and I quote.
All right, we're getting ready. I'm ready.
The seam of his sack. So I'm reading this, and the whole time I'm thinking, like, okay, he probably has, like, a human head, right? He probably, like, looks something like this. Modern like, you know, just a dude with, like, horns. Then I see the official artwork.
No.
That's a cow.
Yeah.
Bro is a cow. Bro is a straight up cow. In a few parts,
it would be a trans cow or a bull. Some would say it's a progressive story about having sex with animals, dude.
Being intimate, and it will be like his hooves clip-clopped. My hoof will tear up your sheets, and it's like, I'm sorry, his what? At one point, she describes kissing him, and I swear to God, it was more disgusting than anything else described in this book. She's like describing how big and wide his mouth is, and how big and like slimy his tongue is. She's like describing this shit, and you're just like,
bro, this dude would probably taste good if you, like, you know, slaughtered him appropriately and cooked him to medium rare.
That's a cow. I mean, we are at a solid 5.5 on the Barbeau scale here. This is dangerous territory, folks. She also f***ers his ass. The cow's ass. By the way, if you want an uncensored...
I'm telling you, man, I am not lying. I told you, this is porn. It's porn with extra steps, and it's somehow socially acceptable because the entire liberal establishment is here to destroy Western women and turn women into, well, people that can't get into relationships or reproduce. Well, gotta replace you somehow.
version of this video and all my videos, Patreon. Go to Patreon, become a member. All members get the uncensored version of every video, so you can hear me talking about and f***ing a cow's. Is that what you freaks want? Anyway, I like how in this fantasy world, student loans still exist.
Of course.
Like, we can imagine a world...
Dude, it's because it's classic libtard patriarchy garbage. Like, you don't realize how toxic it is. Because it's not just porn. It's porn that is meant to also propagandize you and make you think you're living in a world where, oh, here I am, overeducated with a degree in hyperbulimia, and this helps me have the ability to teach it to other people how to also be hyperbulimic. Dude, that's what society is. You think a degree in liberal arts is worth anything? You're gonna be in debt. $50,000 in debt with a degree in liberal arts that you can only use to teach more people liberal arts. It is a useless nothing degree. That's society. That's the scam of college, the pyramid scheme here, where your degree can only be used to give more people the same degree that they can only use to give more people that degree. Dude, it's a gigantic scam meant to enslave you.
With
and propagandize you, so you can keep voting for them.
Minotaurs and humans in a relationship, but we can't imagine a world without student loans. Sad. Oh, and he has one of those bull rings. Like,
you misunderstand. The student loans, that's a feature, not a bug. They want that because they want it to be like, you know how you, person reading this book, are a fat 400-pound liberal woman who's shaved half her head off and the other half is blue while you're wearing some sort of fucking this shit ring, right? Yeah, that person, that quintessential person, you're overeducated, you're smart, you're ahead of the curve, society's not caught up to you, and that's why shit's bad. That's what this book is telling you.
Like the nose ring theory septum rings.
True.
And in this world, that means, like, you're married, but apparently he's divorced. The man is divorced. Right. This is a divorced cow.
A rich divorced cow. Don't forget to mention how he's super rich, because that's what all women want. All women want a rich guy to take care of them, but they feel bad to admit it, so they say to themselves they want to be the strong person, and, well, they're the superior ones in the relationship wearing the pants, but the other guy just happens to be rich that we could use for his money. Now, women still want a guy that's strong and will protect them and will support them, and that's what women actually do want, inherently. And that's not a bad thing. It's just what they want. They just convince themselves that it's not what they want. So the characters in these books are all billionaires, but they're billionaire werewolves. All right? It's every time.
Cow ex-wife. The lore is...
So you could still be on top.
Deep, folks. The funniest part, though, has to be when they go on a date. I need to just...
I love this. I love this. I showed this in the thing also. They were on a date, and she was like, I would like to pay for the meal as well. And then he reaches over and grabs her hand and says, listen, Violet. I know you're a strong, independent woman, and you should want to pay for the meal yourself, but please, I have all this money and no one to spoil with. She's like, my inner feminist really wants me to pay for this meal, but I'm also really broke. Please play that clip. If you play that clip, that's literally the shit that I showed in my video.
Read this to you. When the bill arrived, she attempted to
Oh my
handful of
God!
carefully folded bills from a wristlet before he stopped her. No, that's absolutely not happening.
I can't believe
Put that
this.
away.
I can't
She'd
believe
not
this is
thought about
happening.
it until the day after their first date.
Dude, people are gonna say that I pre-watched this video before reacting to it. You could literally go to my video from 4 freaking weeks ago, and I showed this exact excerpt from the book. No, that's crazy.
Dinner together, realizing that in mortification that she ought to have attempted to pay her half. What kind of feminist are you? She asked herself. She couldn't remember the last time she'd been out and hadn't paid for her half, including her coffee date with Carson Tinsley. She had come prepared that night, several weeks of her tips smoothed and tucked into her wristlet. But I didn't even offer to pay half the other night and shouldn't have. Violet. If the commanding rumble of his voice hadn't silenced her,
It's a cow,
the heat
by
of
the
his
way.
hand dropping to her knee would have.
Oh
I don't
my
want you to
God,
feel
dude,
like.
kill me.
I don't want you to feel that you don't have any agency here. I might be the one giving all the orders, but you hold all the cards.
That's
Your
right,
comfort
you're a
is the only
feminist.
thing that counts right now. And if I overstep, I want you to know you can tell me so. But that's not
boundary,
happening.
baby.
Don't think I'm unaware we're at different points in our careers. You can say no,
Yeah.
you can say you don't want to see.
I'm a divorced 40-year-old bull man that's rich, and you are a in-debt college kid that works part-time as a whore for cows.
Me again. You can tell me to stop coming to the farm when you're working. It's dinner, not a down payment of your time. But I'm in a position to comfortably spoil someone. So when you're with me,
I can't believe this.
I'm spoiling you. End of story. She was a good feminist, she told herself, and she definitely couldn't be bought. But if he had suggested at that moment that he would have appreciated a blowjob, she would have fallen face first on his cock with an open mouth without a shred of hesitation.
This is a book that's on the shelves in every bookstore in America. All right, you have to understand that. I am just losing my mind that she's showing the exact same excerpts from the book that I was showing. Hold on. Dude, this is the same fucking page. The same page, dude. Hey, if she wants to, because she is independent.
I might be the one giving all the orders, but you hold all the cards.
Oh my god, dude.
Inside every woman, there are two wolves.
Right.
Or two bowls. The strong, independent girl boss and the submissive, doting housewife.
That's every single one of these characters.
And in the presence of a masculine man, or a farm animal, she will fold like a lawn chair and instantly return to factory settings.
It's dinner, not a down payment for your time, but I'm in a position to comfortably spoil someone. So when you're with me, I'm spoiling you.
Bro, they're all fat, middle-aged, lonely women.
End of story. I said, okay, I highlighted that paragraph for myself.
This is so sad. Like this is pathetic.
Clean up aisle 5. So that's what I
God,
but what did other
pathetic.
people think of it? What are the reviews?
Dude, you know what the solution to this issue is? Getting women married, actually. Like, in their 20s, they get married to a guy, and the dude has a career, and she does what she does, and they make some babies, and they have a wonderful life. Yep, that's the solution. That's the prescription. Doctor's orders.
Views on this book. This book has a 4.1 on Amazon with 21,000 ratings and a 3.6 on Goodreads with nearly 60,000 ratings. Let's just read some random ones here. Hear me out. Hear me out. A milking good time. Sweet and creamy. The spice is spicing. I was very leery of starting this because I thought it was just gonna be porn. The plot is pretty good.
Aww.
The plot? Please. This is like the new, I read Playboy for the articles.
Yeah,
like, sure you do.
right,
This book could kill a Victorian child. 5 stars. I'll never look at a jug of milk the same. I think I'm lactose intolerant now. So that happened. Our eyes will never see the gates of heaven. 1 star. Not a helpful guide. This book failed to teach me how to milk a cow, and now my family has no food for the winter. 1 star. Accidentally ordered one pain medication after an operation. Gave this to my mom as a joke gift for Christmas.
Bro.
You what? Lesai. Why can't human males be more like
What the fuck, dude? Oh my god.
this? Tall, rich, and handsome are no longer enough, boys.
Now
you
you need to be 2 tons pure meat.
to be a
And
9-foot
and a cow.
tall creature from Greek mythology with a 13-inch. I never want to hear from another person
It's
about.
not about the physical. That's the point. That's what's so crazy. It's not about the physical. Women, at least, whatever. Obviously, I'm biased because thank God I have someone that really loves me in my life. But women don't actually care about that. They say they care about it, but they don't actually care about that. What they really want is a man that will really be there for them and love them. And that they could always lean on. That's what a woman really wants. All right, to support them, love them, and be there for them. And primarily, that's what they want. Someone that will give them everything. And this girl, Violet, got everything from a cow, because society failed her.
About how they read 100 books in a year if this is the kind of slop they are consuming. Well, Ronald, man detected, this isn't for you. This is for women. So take your ass back to Barely Legal Babysitter 5 or whatever the f you watch that is so morally superior than this. Let him who is without sin cast the first stone, okay? God bless America. It's great to live in a country where I can casually enjoy cozy erotica about a young woman who milks her way to financial security and true love with a minute. This is what freedom looks like, and I intend to fully enjoy it before the Supreme Court takes this right away next. If this is what freedom looks like, I'm really rethinking my stance on freedom, not gonna lie.
Yeah, true!
Maybe we should have less of it.
Listen, I know that technically porn is sort of protected by freedom of speech, but I actually completely am all for the idea of maybe doing something about this for the net positive of society. All right, we'll bring that up. We'll start instituting blasphemy laws. All right, we dude, Morning Glory Milking Farm has radicalized me.
I know is if Donald Trump takes the monster porn, we are going to make 2020 look like a picnic, okay? Bull cock matters. Oh my god, edit that out. Editor, edit that out. Women are gonna be picking up Animal Farm now, like, where's the horse? Some of you people owe a certain streamer an apology because this book has way too many 5 stars. Some of you are lying. So after buying this book, Amazon has given me a few interesting recommendations.
Oh, let's go. I didn't buy the book. I'm way too Jewish to spend money on Morning Glory Milking Farm for a video. So I respect the hell out of the grind.
I accidentally summoned a demon boyfriend. That time I got drunk and saved a demon. Gentling the beast. Cupcakes for my orc enemy. Mane of my existence. The gargoyle and the spinster. The widow and the orcs. Hoarded by the dragon.
Oh my god,
There's something about dragons. Getting it on with gargoyle.
Yep.
Gotten by the gator. Made it to the mountain bear. Oh!
I told you there's a lot of these. I told you this is the new genre. It's about the petite, young, strong, young women who's so weak, but also so strong and such a powerful, independent woman. And she's both somehow.
So this is why they chose the bear. The billionaire orc.
I told you they're billionaires too! There's a billionaire werewolf one that went super viral.
The manager. Wolves and whipped cream. The wolf in.
And dude, it's a fat girl.
Moth manager. Wolves.
Dude, this is perfect. This is cinema. Dude, this is the type of person that would kill Charlie Kirk. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's this type of creature. Holy.
And whipped cream. The wolf in my tavern. Pounded by produce.
Whoa, what the hell is that?
Are these the books the Nazis burned?
My husband only reads finance and sci-fi.
Dude, I'm telling you, there's this one billionaire werewolf book that everyone's losing their fucking mind about. Hold up. I have to find this immediately. Billionaire werewolf. Dude, I don't even want this to be in my search history, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, this one. This is super viral. Yeah, the billionaire werewolf. I'm not even joking. This is a real thing. Yep. Make of that what you will, I guess, libtard. Libtards, keep cooking.
Books, and so I think it's about time that I introduce him to some real literature. So the first book that I would like to introduce you to is called Morning Glory Milking Farm. And it's not a normal milking farm like with cows. What it is it's big, bulky minotaurs, and it's a special type of milking.
See, honey, she's his stepsister, and she got stuck in the wagon. Women on TikTok are openly, proudly talking about the porn they consume and getting mad at people when they make fun of it. Man. I hereby ban men from reacting to romantasy on TikTok. Best-selling romantasy books like...
Bro, they hate me. Do you know how many death threats I get daily these days?
Court of Thorns and Roses and Fourth Wing contain descriptions of hot sex. I feel like that's common knowledge, if not their primary purposes. But in recent months, book talk has become full of men clutching their pearls while reacting.
Clutching their pearls, yeah. Yeah, that's me, clutching my pearls while I make fun of retards.
To steamy scenes from these popular female-centered books. Obviously, this is all a massive performance. We live in the age of OnlyFans. The odds are that these men have seen...
Yeah! And that shit's immoral as fuck, man! Y'all are whores! Yeah!
An actual porn that defies the laws of physics and God. Over 90% of men between the ages 16 and 73 watch porn in any random month. There's statistically no way all of these guys...
And we honestly, obviously every person is different, so I'm not gonna make believe, but people that do this are ashamed. To some extent, you know, there's shame there. All right, and liberal society is trying their best to eradicate this shame. And also, it's not healthy for you. Thank God I was able to kick that, honestly terrible habit to the curb, realistically, because everyone's been there. And with access to the internet, everyone's been there. Everyone can click the yes, I'm over 18 on an incognito browser. And realistically, kicking that shit will make your life better. It will, objectively. Not judging you, whatever you do. But if you want to live a better life and a healthier one and have a healthier relationship, getting rid of that shit is a good first step.
Guys are shocked by the sex itself. What they are gawking at is sex from the perspective of female desire. Scenes that depict women coming first and frequently.
Bro, it's not misogyny if I think that it's fucking cringe that the #1 New York Times bestseller book is about a girl who works in a factory jerking off cow people. With all due respect, you're not flipping this on me. Okay, this isn't misogyny. All right, you guys are actually retarded and alone.
And what they are surprised by is the women they know love these scenes. In one video, a guy declares, "Now I know why women enjoy book clubs and wine. but his astonishment in itself is astonishing. Like, what do you think adult women were into? Not having sex and drinking wine? Grow up. Imagine a group of men sitting around drinking wine, discussing the porn they watch.
Honestly,
that is what
that
you
sounds
guys
pretty
are
bad.
essentially doing.
I feel like
It's
I could
just
do that.
funny, okay?
Like back in the day, you get the boys together to discuss hentai plots. Well, I'll be real. I feel like that could happen.
Like, it's funny. Are we really going to pretend that
Doesn't mean it's not fucking weird.
a story about a young woman getting a job milking mythical creatures to pay off her student debt is not funny? It's funny. If that makes me a sexist or misogynist, you got
Guilty.
me. To act like you are so different and above the other...
Me too. I'm also a misogynist, so I guess it worked out. I'm actually not, but that's what they call me, and we're running with it.
Gooners is just, it's silly. I'm sorry, but you are no different than Joe Schmo jorking it to fat booty Latinas in Space 12. You're
I
sitting...
disagree. Fat booty Latinas are inherently more ethical to jork it to than about a woman who's secretly in love with a client that she milks. And I'll be honest with you, I feel like it's also less destructive. I think getting into these emotionally erotic relationships is more damaging to your psyche and to your actual ability to create real relationships in the real world. I think it's worse than just visualizing and blasting one in private if you have to. I do. Again, I personally think that both are immoral, and you really shouldn't do both as much as you possibly can. That said, I think that the relationship aspect is way worse.
there, all high and mighty, one hand on...
You're gonna have these fucking fat-ass women out there in their 40s being like, I'm not getting me a man like Bufo the Buffalo.
The book, acting like you're so superior because you can perfectly envision a horse spinning 360 degrees in your mind. I'm not impressed. The scenes these men are reading, to many people, myself included, are insanely sexy. But purely in terms of the acts being described, they aren't all that lurid. And as many of the comments on these videos point out, there's much wilder stuff out there. For example, these men have clearly not yet discovered knotting, a popular term in romantasy right now that involves werewolves whose penises get so swollen after sex they have to stay inside their partners until the swelling subsides.
No, I never did discover knotting, but I'm really glad that I've learned so much today. Yeah, the fact that there is an entire term for specifically werewolves, swollen penises that need to stay inside for a long time, goes to show how fucked up this is. And I'll be real, this is something that would be absolutely horrible and not pleasurable for a man. This is something only a woman would be into because it's about the emotional relationship of the woman that's willing to give her body to the billionaire werewolf's knotted penis. And she would sit there for him and take care of him and nurture him. That's what this is. It's about the emotional relationship.
Oh, honey, that's not a popular trend in romantasy. That's just a thing real dogs do. Oh, you just don't get it. You don't know what knotting is. What are these women reading, bro? What happened to that, like, stupid fucking corny Hallmark thing, going home for Christmas to your hometown and falling in love with the cute farmer boy? What happened to that? We used to make fun of that. We truly did not know what we had until it was gone.
That's
now
right.
Women out here fantasizing about getting their asses clapped by demons and werewolves and goblins and ghouls. I remember when 50 Shades of Grey came out and people were like, oh my god, this is so crazy. Women are crazy. 50 Shades of Grey looks like missionaries through a bedsheet for the sole purpose of procreation compared to the average woman on TikTok is reading. At least Christian Grey was a human man and not a dog. You fantasize about dating the quiet, shy, nerdy girl.
Bro, these are fantasies about dating I feel like are so much more innocuous compared to this weird cesspit of degeneracy, man. Yep. We are living in a desensitized world where the establishment does not want us procreating by any means necessary. I just paused the recording because I got a call from a beautiful woman telling me that she got me food. Truly, I'll be real. I just gave you neat tricks for how to win over your woman. Bro, that's how you win over your man. You call and say, surprise, I'm at your favorite place. I'm bringing you some delicious grub. Oh, Lord, thank you so much. It's almost like the biblical lifestyle is also the healthiest and best for your mental health, too. It's kind of weird how that happens.
Girl, you know, she's innocent, she's pure, she's not like those other girls going out clubbing and hooking up with random men. No, she's at home, curled up by the fire in a blanket, reading a book, except that book is about f***ing a half man, half bull. Let me let you in on it. The quiet, nerdy girl is way more of a freak than the average hoe. Are you kidding me?
I mean, to be fair, I feel like there's like hoflation in society as it kind of goes both ways. It really kind of goes both ways. It's like, on the one hand, you have a hoe. Your classic hoe. There she is getting hoed down by a bunch of dudes. Then you have a woman that's a nerd. Not a hoe, not getting mowed down by a bunch of dudes, but in her mind, she's getting mowed down by dragons and bulls and werewolves. All right, so like, you know, ultimately, like, I do see like I take the nerd. I take the nerd. What can I say? All right, that's my personal preference. So listen, if you have to pick one or the other, I guess get mowed down by bulls in your brain. But I think ideally you'd be, you know, getting married at 23 years old, and raising a family.
Even close. The average hoe might have a body count of like 15 or so, but the quiet nerdy girl is fantasizing about getting back shots from Cthulhu. That is at least 100 bodies. Now,
but it's only the imagination, okay? Listen, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. But like as a dude, I know that those Cthulhus were mind fucking her, but we're not touching anything else. All right, listen, from my perspective, why are we fucking power scaling hoes?
now listen, there's nothing inherently wrong with fantasizing, okay? There's nothing wrong with role play. You know, fiction is fiction, right? You know, you're not actually going to bang your stepsister, right? These women are not actually going to bang a cow or...
Well, Cenk Uygur, one of the largest leftist political commentators, thinks that raping animals should be legal and moral if it pleasures the animals as well. This is not only, according to Cenk Uygur, this is also a message echoed by Vosh, another large leftist political streamer. This is also something mentioned by Destiny. He said that eating animals and raping animals are both violating their consent, so it should be the same. It turns out all the large leftist political streamers really don't see the immorality of fucking cows, do they? And that's where we're heading! We're heading down that debauchery rabbit hole. Give it some time. It'll be a more mainstream position.
Or at least I hope.
Unless Deuce Volt, we could eradicate this shit faster.
Not. We all know there is a difference between fantasy and reality. Well, what happens when they try to bring fantasy into reality?
That's the convention. That's the segue. Yeah, no, but realistically, I do agree there's a difference between fantasy and reality. Fictional characters are fictional, and there is no amount of weird mental twisting that you could twist your brain into thinking that fictional characters are real. I just think for your personal mental health, I think that limiting it will make you a better, happier, more functional person in society and in a relationship. That's my personal advice to you. However, again, fictional characters are fictional. All right, let's talk about the convention.
Well, you get Sinners and Stardust.
Oh, God. It's like she literally is covering the talking points of my video. I can't believe it.
What in the eyes wide shut is going on here? Sinners and Stardust was supposed to be a dark romance ball for romantasy authors and fans alike. So what's the big deal? Seems like a fun, sexy time, right? Maybe, if you're a woman.
Yeah, not if you're a man.
The night may have gone a little differently for you. Alright, y'all. It appears I have to make a post that I'm frankly pretty goddamn upset I have to make.
Right.
This post is for the readers who don't understand consent and boundaries only. A lot of you may know my good friend Animus. He's attended a signing of mine in the past and obviously is a musical artist. This past weekend, he attended Sinners and Stardust and probably had one of the most heartbreaking experiences. So listen, he's a man, right? But do we think that means it's okay to put your hands all over him without consent? Or to put your hands in his waistband or down his pants or touch his hello? Do we think it's okay to quite literally back him into a corner and touch all over him to the point that he literally cannot tell how many hands are on him and whose are whose? Do we think it's okay to send him into an actual panic attack because of this? Furthermore, do we think it's okay to interrogate him and insist he detail how he'd kidnap a woman despite him repeatedly
that's romantasy.
Saying he wouldn't do that, and you know that shit is fiction, and then attempt to follow him when he tries to get away? And if that wasn't enough, during the time of this mob, him and another author received notification that an air tag was tracking him, which showed on his person all the way to his hotel room. They molested this guy until he passed out from anxiety, and then they put a f***ing tracker on him in order to stalk him back to his hotel. This poor guy dressed like a character in one of the romantasy books at this romantasy convention full of women. That is like throwing roast beef into a pit of wolves. Or in this case, throwing a wolf into a pit of roast beef. I remember years ago, there was this thing called cosplay. Basically, it was a campaign to the fact that people at conventions would often come up to women dressed in sexy costumes and just grope and grab them without their consent. Yeah, apparently we have to bring that back because these women did not get the memo. I've been a furry for over a decade and attended a lot of fur cons. Sure, so
Bro, these people should not have access to firearms. I believe in the Second Amendment for everyone unless you're mentally ill. I feel like this is the bar, man. What are we doing?
Sometimes weird shit happens, but honestly, I can't believe the dark romance crowd is out here acting like this.
Really?
Like me.
Really? You can't believe it? Like, really?
Me and my buddies in our fursuits are more respecting of consent and bodily autonomy. Get your shit together, y'all. When the furries are calling you out for being freaks...
They're not just calling you, they're taking the moral high ground. Bro, we remember the furry conventions, all right? I remember with the way the government had to get involved and shut down furry conventions because people were shitting in the ball pool, all right? I remember that shit, man.
You need to reflect. Something has gone horribly wrong.
Dude, all of these people need to find God immediately. You will have a better life, I promise you. I promise you'll have a better life. Even if you want to find God purely for selfish purposes, because you're like, listen, I want to have a good lifestyle. I don't believe in anything. You will have the best lifestyle if you just follow biblical values and build yourself a beautiful home. Like, really. And it's so sad because it's so true. And these people, they don't even want to hear about it.
Not only were the men at this book talk convention assaulted, but women were also assaulted by women. Multiple women, including a performer, reported being assaulted there as well. Even an author there said
well, I mean, to be fair, the #1 highest domestic assault cases come from lesbian couples, so I don't know why we're that surprised.
She was groped and dragged away from her friends and said no matter how many times she said no, quote,
No. You have to read this from the beginning. Sinners was phenomenal, and I loved meeting everyone. However, can we please respect others' boundaries? I was groped multiple times in the mall. So you have to realize this is one of her best experiences. It was phenomenal. Loved meeting everyone. She was also sexually assaulted. I was dragged away from my friends, and no matter how many times I said no, my wife said nothing. As soon as 11, I couldn't stop crying. Really? Phenomenal? Really?
My words did nothing. May I remind you, this is a book convention, okay? For books. Literal BDSM clubs are more respectful than this. There needs to be more studies on how this stuff affects women's brains. Because
honestly, I completely agree. Because I think it's incredibly dangerous. Because I think women do get actually emotionally connected to these characters and these scenes. And it's, well, not conducive to them becoming functional mothers or members of society.
Clearly, some are unable to tell the difference between fantasy and reality. Ivy Lipton, a doctoral candidate in human sexuality, actually wrote about this for EV Magazine. I don't know what a doctoral candidate in human sexuality is, but...
it means that she's not someone without a PhD. She's trying to get a PhD in a bullshit topic, and she has not even managed to get the PhD in a bullshit topic.
She's hot, so I trust her. Your brain on orgasms isn't neutral. Dopamine release during climax is a powerful conditioning agent. What you repeatedly fantasize about becomes necessary for arousal. If your erotic imagination...
By the way, in my opinion, that's why if you are a man and you have a wife or a girlfriend or whatever, and you are giving her everything, you are being there for her, you are supporting her, you are there for her, you are calm, you are not angry around her, you are, being there in general for her, you are going to be the most attractive person in the world to her. It doesn't even matter what you look like. Well, maybe to some extent it does, but for the most part it doesn't, because that will be her fantasy. You will be her fantasy. It's an emotional connection first and foremost. Obviously there's physical attraction too. I'm not saying that there isn't. Obviously there is, but the emotional hook for women is much stronger. This is science. This is not me making it up. Yeah, science!
Centers around monstrous violence and submission to non-human entities. Your brain is reprogramming itself to crave just that. It's not empowerment, it's neuroplasticity at its darkest. Scientists, psychologists, and the general public often state that men are visual and women are...
Did you hear that? Scientists, psychologists, and me have all come together to say this. That's right. Thank you for the backup, scientists and psychologists.
Emotional. When it comes to sex, men can be turned on instantly by a sexual image despite their mood and...
Sexual image? That's hilarious. That's hilarious. You show a dude a curvy piece of fucking driftwood, and bro could figure something out. All right, you don't understand.
Women need to be turned on emotionally to get in the mood. So it stands to reason that porn for men is visual and porn for women is in the mind. I'm not equating porn to smut novels because one is a video of two people actually having real sex and the
it's the same thing.
Other is, well...
real people? So what is animated porn not porn according to you because it's not real people having sex?
Just words on paper.
Those are just drawings. Those are just drawings, so animated porn isn't porn because it's just drawings. Yeah, this is a retard line. This is why this lady didn't get her PhD. She's only a doctoral candidate or whatever they called it. Yeah, no, because this is porn.
I'm, however, talking about the effect on the consumer. We know watching porn is bad for the brain. That's been proven and only rejected by gooners who don't want to give it up. True. But is reading smut bad? Yes. You might say, duh, that's the whole point. Okay, fair enough. So let me rephrase. Is reading smut harmful?
Yes.
Should we shame people for things that are wrong, immoral, or harmful?
Yes.
In my line of work, I've been told many times that shame has no place in sex.
Boo! I'll take. Shame exists in everything. I don't care who you are, doctoral. No, shame. Bring shame back. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely, we have to bring shame back. 1000%. You should feel humiliated if you're like, or if you're a retard in public. Yep. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Bring it back.
But if I use my brain for 2 seconds, it's clear that line of thinking is nonsense.
Correct.
Incest should be shamed, bestiality should be shamed, pedophilia should be shamed. True. I'm not equating monster smut with these things.
Right, because ultimately it is just fictional characters, and that, like, no victims, obviously. Right? Because they're fictional characters. That doesn't matter. However, it conditions your mind, maybe, perhaps, in a way that is not healthy for you. Not to say that you're going to read fucking Morning Glory Milking Farm and then you're going to have Rape a Cow, but you are probably going to have a warped perspective on relationships and your desire system is going to be fucked up.
But there are 50 shades of gray, so to speak, along the spectrum of harmful. Conditioning your brain and body to associate pleasure with monsters, slavery, or soul violence is not healthy.
Yeah, no
Basically, they're cooked. Like,
True.
women are cooked.
True.
They are frying their brains
Yes,
with
sir.
this stuff. It's a pipeline, right? It's like the infamous evil alt-right pipeline. You know, you start watching Shoe on Head, owning the feminists in 2015,
That's
and
right.
then in 2025, you're hailing Hitler,
That's
right?
right.
You know,
That's how it
the alt-right
happens.
pipeline.
That's
And
the all-right pipeline. You watch Shoe on Head, you hail Hitler. It's a path. I don't know where I am. I'm probably closer to the Hitler side at this point, according to Twitter.
This one's like you're reading Morning Glory Milking Farm, and the next thing you know, you're Mrs. Hands, right? Just say no. Just say no to monster. But why is monster smut so popular with women in particular? Like, you rarely see.
Do you want to know the answer? First of all, monster porn is popular for men too. I'll be real. It's just totally different. Because since men are visual, monster porn is animated shit. You think there isn't monster hentai out there? Oh, please. Oh, you poor mistaken female. But the major difference is, since it's on the page, and since it's specifically a visual medium, regular IRL porn for men, there ain't monsters in real life. When AI gets better, I guarantee you there's going to be AI-generated monster porn that looks realistic as fuck. However, that's not the point. For men, it's physical. For women, it's much more emotional. And here you have this strong, girthy Minotaur guy taking care of you.
The opposite, and when you do, it's just like a girl with cat ears and fangs,
True.
or like a 10-foot-tall Dami-mommy vampire.
Yeah, but that counts! That counts!
Giant titties. Meanwhile, women are like, I want to the pollution monster from Fern Gully. So people on Reddit asked this very
Honestly,
question.
valid,
Let's
though.
see the responses.
Men, visual. She still needs to look like a wham, and what can I say? She still needs a pair of tits. I don't care if it's a fucking fern monster. She needs tits.
Why do you guys like monster romances? Asking for a friend. Several reasons.
Sure.
1, human men are quite often terrible.
This is the most disgusting conditioning ever. Like, it literally is just conditioning these people.
Romance books with human men are already partly fantasy, but Monsters just takes the fantasy bit further. 2, it's sort of human nature to imagine relationships with paranormal beings and creatures.
Bro, don't hit me with human nature.
We've been doing it in literature and art for centuries.
no.
It's just gotten a lot more graphic now, lol. 3, unique body forms / parts and so many different kinds of scary, mean, terrifying creature is sweet to her, kind, takes care of her, protects her, works hard to be gentle, etc. Maximal escapism, minimal association to real life assholes, the patriarchy, misogyny, and oppression of women, etc, etc. Because the
These
monsters
women
are
are
less
so
dangerous
cooked.
than
They're so
dating actual men. As a fat
They're so cooked. They're so cooked.
woman of color, modern, contemporary, and even fantasy romances are
I'm fat and black, so I date monsters. So brave! So brave!
hard to click to because they are almost always about thin white women and just too realistic.
Oh my God.
And romance in real life is not always attainable for fat women of color.
That's retarded. Lose weight, first of all, and that's retarded. Are you insane?
In monster alien romance, though, my size doesn't matter and it's easier to get into that headspace and enjoy it.
So, you could get into the headspace of a thin girl having sex with a minotaur, but you can't get into the headspace of a thin girl having sex with a human? Hey, get the fuck out. This is retarded, man. This is bullshit.
Sick of the men on Earth and looking for some variety.
Yeah.
Non-humans haven't been...
It's just because leftist women hate men. Wake up, sheeple. The leftoid mind, the neo-Marxist ideology. They hate men, they hate white people, they hate successful people, they hate colonial people, they hate Jews. Essentially anyone that's remotely remarked as successful straight people, that's who they hate. So, yeah, they just hate men, it turns out. They're like, yeah, well, in this book, you don't have to date a man, because men suck, obviously. You have to date a Minotaur guy, because that's what they're being taught. This is all propaganda.
Trade and hurt me, so they feel like a safe haven, if that makes sense. Plus the unusual. Monsters have big, fun-shaped cocks. I love some bizarre peen. Unique genitalia.
This is crazy.
I don't know what I was expecting, honestly. A lot of women's smut, especially monster smut, is about submission, domination, forced breeding, non-consensual consent. The women are like conquered and taken and overpowered by these monsters.
But if a man does it, it's a bad. All right, no, if a man does it, you don't unconsensually overpower and forced breed women. Don't do that, actually. Okay, don't do it.
And I think many of these women are reading these books containing monsters and not men because masculinity and
That's right. They don't want to feel like they're being dominated by a man because they hate men. But they're more than happy being dominated by a minotaur with a fun-shaped cock.
Dominance in men has been completely demonized in modern society. But the truth is, many women still crave it.
Most. But yeah, no, that's where we're at. Yep, 100%, 100%. I don't think dominance needs to be the guy with the fun-shaped cock, though. Dominance is being there to help her with things in general. Bro, you have no idea, like, whatever. Obviously, people in a relationship are gonna relate. But if your wife wakes up in the morning knowing that you need to travel somewhere, and she leaves bed and sees that you already packed the car, right? You already took all the fucking suitcases and put them in the trunk. It's a huge turn on. Like, she gets really excited. It really does. Because it's like, oh my God, you did this yourself. That's crazy. You know, because usually men need to be told what to do because men are simple creatures that like don't realize that, you know, shit's dirty until, you know, their woman tells them, hey, shit's dirty. Then you're like, oh yeah, I didn't notice. Because listen, simple creatures.
See, the monsters in these stories have those like dominant masculine traits that women like so much, but they're not human men. They have all these traits women desire without the problematic baggage human men bring, without being the men they hate or have been told to hate. It is the perfect guilt-free slop. But they don't just want a wild dominant man. They want to tame a wild dominant man.
Because they need to nurture this wild dominant man.
Similar to when a man sees an art hoe with a nose ring, you can save her from her daddy issues. You can do it. It definitely won't backfire.
No, actually, if you see someone with a nose ring, just stay away. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. There's other fish in the sea. Find a fish without a nose ring.
And ruin your life. Go for it. Go talk to her. With many women, there's this desire for, like, danger and aggression, but also the desire to tame that danger and aggression. The desire to be that special woman who can melt his... You see, my dragon boyfriend could rip me to shreds and instantly, but he won't
because I'm me. And I'm special because I'm me. And she'll feel that way if you look at her and treat her like she's special. It's really that simple. It's really... Fellow guys, you have it easy. All right, you have it easy. You think you have it hard, you have it easy. All you need to do is treat her like she's the most important person in the entire world because she is the most important person in the entire world. She is the person that completes you. She is special because she is yours. Your special woman. You treat her that way and you act like that and you recognize that she really is the most important thing in the world to you. That's how she'll tame you. And then she'll give you everything. You treat her like a queen, and she will treat you like a king.
He's nice and he loves me. But honestly, at the end of the day, just like the video I made about the anime girl in a wheelchair where men were saying, this is the average male fantasy, and a bunch of women were like, you want to rape a disabled? When in reality, it was just a distilled...
No, it was just the idea of taking care of someone.
Manifestation of the average male fantasy, which is to protect and provide for a sweet woman and save her. True. This is like basically the flip of that, right? This is just the distilled manifestation of the female fantasy. Men are seeing this and they're saying, what do you mean you want to milk a minotaur? When in reality, it's just to have a big, strong protector and provider swoop you up and save you. And like I said in that video, they're basically both...
Except this is more about the Marxist revolution that's happening inside of her vagina, which clearly Shoenhead didn't pick up on.
Same fantasy. This is a tale as old as time, the princess being saved from the dragon by a knight in shining armor, whether the dragon be a wheelchair or student loans, you know? But in this case, the woman is being f***ed by the dragon, and the knight sits in the corner and watches or something. Maybe it's not that deep. There are some hungers better starved than fed. And maybe as women, for the sake of society, we have to starve our hunger for minotaur.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna listen to you. They're gonna call you a Nazi for this.
That's the moral of this video. So what do you guys think? What is your theory? Why is the monster romance genre so popular with women in particular? And who is your weirdest hear me out? Be honest. I don't want to hear no Lola Bunny.
My whammon.
Okay? You all know mine already.
Bro! No.
It's not that he's a fish, okay?
It's the way he looks at you.
He has an energy, okay? He has a vibe.
It's aura. Because women are into aura. What could I say? They into aura. They into the vibe, the emotional connection. For men, curvy driftwood, you know what I'm saying?
You know what, never mind. And I will see you guys again really soon with a new video.
That was a great video, honestly. I'll link it in the description. No, banger. I love Shoe on Head videos. She does a really great job. Realistically, I think that the moral to the story is the following. It's that the liberal establishment wants our women alone and sad and depressed so that they can no longer breed with us so we can get replaced by an endless conga line of third world migrants coming in to steal our nation from us, from our very soil, because they hate us for what we are. They hate us for the way we were born, and they want us replaced. So they put these women in these industrialized, hyper-feminized society echo chambers, teaching them that the only person that they actually need is themselves. No man can ever fulfill their true desire. They need a minotaur that they can tame and perfect. That's the system that we exist in. College is a scam. Say no to the propaganda brainwashing. Find God. And Morning Glory Milking Farm is porn. It's not about a Marxist revolution. Although, porn and a Marxist revolution has a lot more in common than a lot of people want to give them credit for. Bye. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.